Hi, this is your Sussex County Chiropractor, Dr. Will Holdsworth from Pain Relief Chiropractic. I'm answering a question to a very popular video on our YouTube channel, the Eat Whatever You Want and Still Lose Weight. The question that came up was, do you have anything to add after 4 years from the initial upload? I'd like to know if there were changes. Thank you, smiley face. So yeah, there's a ton of things I can add. I've been intermittent fasting for a long time. Even before I uploaded that video, that was what got me to do the video, is because the results were great and I wanted to share with everyone. I've been recommending intermittent fasting to all of the patients that come into my office who want to lose weight. When I did that video originally, I was in San Jose, California, and now I'm practicing here and living here in New Jersey. So well, the things that I've noticed with intermittent fasting is at some point you do hit a plateau. The cool thing about intermittent fasting though is a lot of people struggle with weight loss. As you're struggling with weight loss, it's very difficult to stay on track or try to get things rolling, try to get something that you can stick to. With intermittent fasting, the results happen so quickly that you are excited about it and you're willing to stick to the program because you're seeing the results so quickly. But again, you do hit that plateau at some point. Now in the video I touched on this. The cool thing about intermittent fasting is you only have a certain amount of hours that you are allowed to eat during the day. So what you end up doing as the day goes by, you're like, okay, this is day 4 or 5. I haven't had any fruit or vegetables because I really wanted to challenge this guy and eat a bunch of fast food or whatever kind of junk food you wanted to eat and still lose weight. And you're like, okay, I have to do something because I can't just keep eating garbage. So you start introducing more fruits and vegetables into your life, maybe some leaner proteins, and you typically should have that sort of response. The most successful patient we've had in this office who's lost over 100 pounds off of their diabetes type 2 medication did this very thing. They were doing Five Guys cheeseburgers and fries every day and losing weight, very excited about it, and had that same realization I just said, and eventually started using some smoothies into their diet and stopped doing so much fast food, but definitely still indulges every once in a while. Now the thing that you do want to keep in mind when you do hit a plateau with intermittent fasting, because like I said, it happens to almost everybody, what ends up happening as well with the plateau is I find for me, who has a capacity to eat a ton of food, is that you are able to eat a ton when you get into your eating window. You're able to fast for the required amount of time, it's no problem. But then when the eating window comes, you go ham and you eat your face off. I had that same problem to the point that my father nicknamed intermittent fasting intermittent gluttony, and I was finding that I was not losing weight. So the best thing you can do to counteract the plateaus that you hit, I have a bunch of things that I wrote down because I did not want to forget them. The one thing that I did when I hit a plateau out in San Jose is I actually cut carbs, not carbs, but grains from my diet for an entire year. I had no grains whatsoever, no flour, not even any rice. I think I cut corn out too. I did still have alcohol. That was the only thing that I kept. But everything else was grain-free. It was just meat and vegetables, and I literally ate whatever I wanted, and I was losing a bunch of weight. Now, you don't have to give up grains. What you can do, a lot of people do this, is they do keto. So they start doing a ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting. That is a really fast way to lose weight. If you want to do that, that's up to you. You can just reduce carbohydrates and definitely get rid of refined sugars. You don't want to kick them out immediately unless you're okay with being potentially a little grouchy for a few days, but you can definitely lose weight if you cut down the carbs, the sugars, and potentially explore doing ketogenic diet. The other thing you could do is you can reduce, that's the first tip I give you for if you're hitting a plateau. Number 2, if you're hitting a plateau, what you're going to want to do is reduce the eating window length. So some people are doing an 8-hour eating window, maybe females are doing a 10-hour eating window. Cut that down to 6 hours for either one. Cut down to 4 hours. Do whatever you need to do that you can still stay sane and not be irritable, but cut down that eating window and increase your fasting window. Another thing you can do is you can do a 24-hour fast whenever you screw up. We all screw up. It happens all the time. My favorite thing about intermittent fasting is if you screw up, all you have to do is just jump start it again. And my favorite way to do that is a 24-hour fast. Compare that to going grain-free, like I mentioned a little bit ago. If I'm trying to do that for a year and then I screw up at month 8, You eat the grains, you're like, I screwed up, and now you're kind of just eating grains again. It's just one of those things that happens. What I like about doing a 24-hour fast after you screw up is it really jumpstarts, gets your body back on track. So let's say you eat a little bit too late, you go outside your 8-hour eating window, maybe you did a 12-hour eating window. Fast for 24 hours from that last bite, and that'll get you back on track. Very good way to do things. On the other way, if you know you're going to screw up, you know you're going to go through this big party or something, whatever you have going on, but just do a fast 24 hours before the first bite of that celebration or whatever you're doing. What that'll do is that will get you still in an intermittent fasting mode. Because remember, if you're not doing 8 and 16 or 10 and 14, whatever, you can actually do intermittent fasting still 24 hours on, 24 hours off. You can do that. That's still intermittent fasting. So you can prepare for that by doing a 24-hour fast before or doing a 24-hour fast after you screw up. The other thing you want to make sure you're doing is getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. You may be an outlier who only needs an hour of sleep, but those people are extremely rare. And they do exist. You can look that up if you'd like. But 7 to 9 hours of sleep is incredibly important because there are two hormones that come into play when it comes to hunger and satiation. One of them lets you know that you're hungry. The other one lets you know you're full. Both of those get out of whack when you don't sleep enough. That's why when you are sleep deprived, you find that you're not getting full as easily, and you're also finding that you're hungrier earlier than you would be if you got proper amounts of sleep. So make sure you're getting that 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That is incredibly important. The other thing that I'm talking about here is a different tip for Plateau. It's kind of similar to the 24-hour fast, doing OMAD, which stands for 1 meal a day. You can do that. Because you've been intermittent fasting for a while, it's surprising, but you will be able to do OMAD if you wanted to. So try to only eat 1 meal a day. Make it lunch, breakfast, or dinner, whatever you want, and then fast the rest of the day. Now that meal doesn't have to be 20 minutes or an hour. It can be of sitting, whatever, 2 hours. If you want to make a 2-hour dinner, that's fine. But try to do just 1 meal a day. That's another really good way to get yourself back on track with the weight loss portion of intermittent fasting. Another huge thing, very big helpful thing, increase your water intake. You do want to make sure that you're getting at least half of your body weight in ounces of water a day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, divide that in half, it's 100 ounces of water a day. If you do that, it will fill you up more. The same thing applies for carbonated water. You can add that in. That's the same. You can account for carbonated water or water. It's going to add to that same number. You can go above that. Don't go crazy and try to drink like 3 gallons of water. But drinking water, especially before you eat, will really help fill you up, and you won't go crazy when you sit down and have that meal. This I've been experimenting with for about a month, and I really like it. I'm doing MCT oil in my coffee in the morning. MCT oil stands for medium chain triglycerides. It's very easily processed by the body and turns into ketones pretty quickly. When you do this, what will happen is it will actually help you push your fasting window a little bit later. It'll curb your appetite in a natural way. So try adding that into your coffee or whatever beverage you'd like in the morning. Now, you're right, there is calories in MCT oil, so you're not really doing a genuine full-blown fast in the morning when you do have MCT oil. That's okay. It still will keep all of the benefits of intermittent fasting if you just do MCT oil and nothing else in your fasting window. No other form of calorie. Great way to do it. I will warn you though, if you're going to do MCT oil on an empty stomach, what ends up happening is it might cause some GI distress. So start slowly. About a teaspoon of MCT oil would be a great way to start. If you're you have GI issues, you know you have that problem, you might want to go even less than that, or you may want to avoid it altogether. I've worked my way up to 1 tablespoon, and I'm doing great with that in my black coffee in the morning. Another thing that I've been messing around with, which I really do like, is Fortigen. This is from Jacquish Biomedical. I bought the X3 bar from this company, and the X3 bar is basically a portable little weightlifting device. Really like it. I'll put the link of this protein supplement in below. Check out the X3 bar if you'd like, but the Fortigen is great because there's only 4 calories per scoop in here. I do consume this after I work out in the morning. By having this in my body, it's very interesting because it's just amino acids. It's not full-blown protein. The amino acids that are in this supplement are designed for anabolic growth, for the building of muscle. So while you're fasting, you can take the Fortigen because it's so low in calories. And what's really interesting is Dr. John Chadquish claims that one scoop, while only being 4 calories, is the equivalent to 50 grams of protein. That leads me into my next thing. Try to get at least 1 gram of protein per body weight that you currently weigh every day into your diet. That's another thing you can do to help jumpstart this intermittent fasting. Now, because I mentioned that there's only 4 calories but 50 grams per scoop, you can get to 200 and some pounds like I'm at very easily with just 4 scoops of this. Sometimes I'll do 3 and I'll have a more protein heavy dinner, and that's been really helping me get back on track, and I'm getting more toned, which has been a lot of fun. Going into exercise, make sure you're doing some exercise with intermittent fasting. If you are hitting a plateau, you can exercise. I've answered this so many times in that previous video. You can exercise during your fasting window. I do it all the time. If you're having an issue and you're getting a little lightheaded, then go easier on the intensity. If it's still making you lightheaded, then just stop. Wait until you eat something. Maybe do a pre-workout supplement before you work out. There are some calories in there. And then when you finish your workout, do some protein supplementation or have a meal after your exercise. I love doing some form of protein after my workout. I'm finding that my body is really responding well to that, and that's where I'm doing the Fortigen after my workout. So that is the big update on intermittent fasting, and me. Helped a lot of different people lose weight with this diet. I highly recommend it. There's so many different documentaries out now about the other benefits of fasting aside from weight loss, so check those out as well. Intermittent fasting is a great way to lose weight, but it's also a great lifestyle. Everyone who's been successful in my office with this weight loss idea or school of thought, whatever you want to call it, they've all decided that this is now their lifestyle. I'm in the same boat. This is how I live, and it's fantastic. So if you have any questions, please drop a line below. Thank you for watching this video, and thank you for that comment from that YouTuber. This is your Sussex County chiropractor, Dr. Will Holdsworth from Pain Relief Chiropractic.